Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Diana. On Instagram I'm also known as What D Does. I wanted to come on today and share a video flip through of my Hobonichi weeks that I've set up as a reading journal. So I got this idea a couple of days ago. I had placed an order for Hobonichi weeks, wanting to utilize it in my system, but I wasn't really sure the purpose of it. What did I want to use it for? And out of the blue, I got this idea to use it as a reading journal. I went ahead and shared my setup on Instagram and I got a couple of likes about it. So I figured I would make a little video walking through my process, my thoughts on it, and how I'm utilizing it. Before I get into the notebook real quick, I want to show a couple of the writing tools that I'm using for it. I don't use kits or a ton of stickers or anything like that as of yet. I wanted to keep it kind of simple and let the system develop as it does. So right now I'm using these two Tombos and they're mainly for color coding. So the yellowish orange color that you see is Tombow number 026, and then the pink color that you'll see is number 772. And then my main writing pen that I'm using is a Micron in size 02. The nice thing about Microns is they don't seem to smear after I've written on them. They dry pretty quickly. So let's go ahead and get into the flip through. So the style that I'm using for the Hobonichi is I believe this is the water lily, toad lily, something like that. Regardless, I'll have it listed in the notes below. I bought this one off of JetPens. I do have a cover on cover just to make sure that it stays protective. I would like to get a leather cover for it, but that's gonna be a little bit further into the future. In here I do have a couple of pieces of paper. This is just regular computer paper. I use it for blotting paper if I'm worried that what I'm writing is going to smear. So opening it up, you do get a couple of years at a glance. So it goes from 2020 all the way through 2022. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to utilize this page. If I do end up utilizing it, I might not. I was thinking about color coding the days that I'm reading certain books. That way I can see at a glance how long it's taken me to read different books throughout the year. This page is another one that I haven't fully developed or figured out how I want to utilize it. Something that I've thought about doing is writing the number of hours that I've read and then totaling it up at the end to see how many hours of the month did I spend reading. Now I do have this little page dart here going straight to the current month of May. I'll have these listed below as well. I purchased these off of JetPens. So the main layouts that I use in this are going to be the monthly, the weekly, and then the notes pages. So when it comes to the monthly, I have color-coded here the time or the days that I've spent reading a certain book. So for instance, first book I read in May was The Starless Sea. I just finished it a couple of days ago. Today is, I think, May 11th, 12th, something like that. I think it's 11th actually. Anyways, so I read it all the way through here and this was the day that I finished it. Now what I do is I write the total number of pages that I've read and then where I'm at in the book. So on Monday I read 31 pages and I ended my day on page 276 out of 570. And I did that every single day until I finished the book. The next book that I'm starting is The Humans, and I'll be able to update this for you so you can see how I do it. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the current week. So this is how I set up my week, and I only set it up for the week that I'm on, simply because I want to keep the weeks color-coded to those books. So for instance, if I went ahead and did this for this week coming up, I don't know if I'm going to be reading this book then. So my next book's going to be in a different color other than these two. But primarily how I utilize these pages is on this side. I'm going to remove this just for a moment. I have notes and quotes and then the title of the book below that. This little sticker is from Sweet Kawaii Designs, I believe, and I'll have their website linked down below. If it's a dash, it's usually just a note about the topic or a note about something I want to remember. A question mark is literally a question that the book brings up, whether it's about the plot or about a character, why they did something, why something was said. I'll leave it like this, and then if it gets answered, I usually put a little A with a circle around it. That's a signifier to let me know that that was a question that's now been answered. On this side, I have S for the page that I start on that day, F for the day that I finish on that day, and then T for total number of pages read. And then on this side, I just write little notes about big important things that happened during those pages. So today I'm starting on page 37, and I haven't finished reading for the day. I'm going to go ahead and flip back to last week so you can get a better idea of what the week ends up looking like. So here are all of my notes for the week during what I was reading. I finished the book on 5/9/21 at 1 p.m. And then here are me tracking the pages that I've read, the amount of pages, and then the notes that I had about what I was reading. So I'm going to update this page in the calendar. All right, sorry about that. It got a little noisy outside, so I had to put a pause on everything. But I was going to go ahead and update my monthly calendar. So yesterday I read 36 pages. Let me go back to here. So yesterday was the 10th, and I'm just going to write 36. Now this bottom part I'm not going to fill in until the end of the week, simply because I don't know if I'm going to need a whole week to finish this book. I could do like one day at a time, which I might end up doing, but we'll see. Now, moving all the way to the back of the book, I'm going to show you how I've set up the notes pages and how I intend to utilize them. So I have another page start here, going straight to the first couple of notes pages. Now this first one, I have a running list of the books that I've read so far in 2021. The Starless Sea was my 9th book, so I usually give myself a goal of like 12 books. I usually pass it, sometimes I don't, it just kind of depends. I don't put a ton of pressure on myself to complete a ton of books simply because reading is fun for me and I don't want to put too much pressure on something that I get enjoyment out of. On this side here, I have a running list of the books that I own that I want to read this year. And this way, if I am stuck on what book I want to pick up next, I can refer to this list, know that these are books that I'm interested in, that I want to read, and I can go ahead and pull from here. Now after that, I go straight into an index, and I'm going to utilize this index for book reviews. So I have the title and then what page it's on. Flipping it over, here is my book review for The Starless Sea. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, and then I just wrote a little bit about the book and my thoughts on it. If somebody were to ask me about it, this is the opinion that I would give them. So I have this as a record moving forward. That way, if there is a book that I'm interested in and I want to, go back and look at what my thoughts are while I was reading it, see if they're still the same now, because I've had books where I've read them and my thoughts on them have changed with time as it's gone on. So that is pretty much it of how I'm going to be utilizing this. I've only been in it for a week so far, but I'm really enjoying it. This was definitely something that was missing from my lineup, and I'm glad that I have added it. So please let me know down below if this is something you're going to be incorporating into your own system and how you plan to utilize it. So hopefully this won't be the only video that I post. So I will see you in the future. Feel free to like it, subscribe to my channel, or follow me on Instagram. I'll have all that linked down below. Bye!